Hi guys, welcome back to Geeks Wargaming and welcome to our latest video. Today me and Robin are at the LCO, the Last Chance Open ITC event, 2,000 points. I'm running Orcs, Robin is running his Iron Hands. There are two videos showcasing the armies and the list that we brought with us for this event that are on the channel. Basically this is Darren from Twisted Dice dancing around and messing around. But yes, biggest event in the LCO history. This is 98 people, something like that are taking part. Should be good fun. I've been drawn against Sean Canning in my first game, who's brought Deathwatch. Not many minis, but lots of firepower against my Orcs. So let's head over to game one. The armies are all deployed now for game one, and I am facing Mr. Sean Canning, who's paying no attention to the camera whatsoever, and I'm facing Deathwatch. A lot less minis than I've got, spread out across the battlefield, but Sean did finish deploying first. We have got Terminators and a Shield Captain in deep strike mode, so we're going to roll to see who goes first on camera. So Sean will get +1,
3, 4,
and I get a 4. So do I want...
I got a 1 this time. Can we not re-roll? Because I got a 4, you got a 4.
Oh yeah, we do re-roll because we are equal. So 4 and a 1. So Sean will get to go first. Oh, Sean will get to go first because he gets +1. But I'm going to try and seize, which I don't.
So game one, I am against Custodes. I am going against quite a tough, manoeuvrable list. I think there's 15 jet bikes in there, including these 2 shield captains. Dawn of War deployment, and this is my deployment across the back here. So a big castle in the centre, all around the Derridio to get the 5-up invulnerable save on everything there. So yeah, let's see how we get on today.
That is the end of game one. It's a draw. 25 points each is what we kind of worked it out as. We think, we might be wrong, but that's what we've put it down as. But it's a draw. Deathwatch versus Orcs. Great fun game. It's always fun to play Sean. So yes, go check out Twisted Dice if you haven't done so already. They are a great bunch of guys who do some really good video content.
So at the end of the game, it was a win for the Custodes, 2011. This is what the Custodes have left on the field, so it did do an awful lot of damage to them, but they just ran away with the points. This is their dead pile, so managed to get rid of most of the bikes on the first turn. One of the bigger, more threatening squads. But yeah, just couldn't finish off the units that I needed to, and got sort of bogged down in combat with them. So yeah, really good game though, really fun opponent, so let's see how we do in the next game.
So into game two, and I've been drawn against Simon Charlie. And the last time we faced each other, he kicked my ass with his chaos. So, Orcs deployed down this way, 4 objective markers on the board. Simon has brought Astra Militarum. Lots and lots of tanks for me to get into, but they're all the way at the back of the board, castled up a little bit. So, Orcs finished deploying first, so I will get +1 to my dice roll. Simon, you ready to roll on? Let's get a dice. So Simon will roll a 3. I'll get +1. 5. Orcs go first. Simon, do you want to try and seize?
I'm going to have a bash of season.
You going to have a go? No. Definitely Orcs to go first.
So it's game 2, and I'm playing against Rick Martin. Any of you who've been watching our tournament reviews will know that I think me and Rich have both played Rick a couple of times. And it is my Iron Hands against Deathwatch. And this is just at the start of turn 1 for Rick. I got first turn, didn't really do any damage. So yeah, let's see how we get on this one.
The end of game 2, not much damage done. It is a win for the Astra Militarum. Cadia stands quite firm. That's all I've got left. 25 points to 14, so a draw and a loss for the Orcs.
And at the end of game 2, that is a win for me. The score was 32-9. It was a tale of my opponent not being able to kill anything, just rolling lots of 1s and 2s on wounds and things like that, and me making a ridiculous amount of 6-up feel no pain saves. Yeah, there's nothing on the table for my opponent. Unfortunately, I managed to actually table him right on the last turn there. So really good game. It's always fun playing against Ricky. He's a really good opponent.
We head into game 3, the final game on day 1, facing Harlequins. Beautiful looking army. Armies are down, armies are deployed. So we're just going to see who goes first. So the +1 is not the Orcs because I have loads to put down. So Jess is going to roll. Does a 1, so that becomes a 2, and I roll a 5. Do you want to try and seize? Yeah, I thought you might do. Oh, he does with a 6. He gets a 6 behind the building. Damn it.
Okay, so this is game 3. I'm playing against Keith, and he has got an awful lot of Astra Militarum Lehman Russ battle tanks. So far, this guy has shot, and he's taken 12 wounds off that, so that was a pretty good start, I guess. So let's see how we get on throughout the battle, and I'll come back to you later.
That's the end of the game. It's a loss for the Orcs again. Tabling. First tabling of the tournament. 34 victory points to 18. Harlequins tough, lots and lots of mortal wound spam, so not a lot I can do about that. Lost out quite quickly, but there was an epic moment in that game. I'm going to tell you about it in the halfway review.
So that's the end of the game, and that was absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. I got to turn 3, and then I've been tabled in turn 3. Not getting first turn against those tanks. Land Raider went. Leviathan went. When the Leviathan got destroyed, it blew up, and it basically did mortal wounds to everything in my lines because they were all together. So I had all my characters running around on 1 or 2 wounds. So just really nasty. Just running at that gun line. Managed to kill a ruckload of conscripts and 1 tank in 2 turns. So, you know, still, you know, rolling dice, removing models, it's always fun, isn't it? But yeah, absolute tatering I took there.
So then guys, that's it, the end of day 1, 3 games done. I am 1 draw and 2 losses. Robin is?
1 win, 2 losses.
Yeah, so you're above me, just.
So what matters?
Whatever. But the 3 armies that I've faced have been perfectly geared up to face my Orcs. Short Cannon, first one, Death Watch. Just loads of shots coming in, wiping out my Orcs. He got first turn as well, which is a little bit annoying. Second game against Simon, Astra Militarum, perfectly geared up for facing my Orcs. Lots and lots of shots, lots and lots of tanks. And then third army against Jez, Harlequins, mortal wound spam all over the place, and that's what was doing the damage to my Warlords and Gaz, and I was just losing all the big guys quickly to mortal wounds. But I mean, there was some really nice moments in there, and there's Weird Boy on the ground floor, Grotz on the middle floor. Grotz holding on to the objective, got taken out by Harlequins, and then they were holding on to the objective. Weird Boy jumped up, Fist of Gork, smash. My objective, get out, and then he died. And if he survived, I'd have probably tried to cast a jump, maybe on himself, and get the hell out of Dodge, but that didn't happen, and he died, and that was it. That was a tabling. That's my first tabling then. So, but yeah, it's been really good fun. The new venue it's quite nice. It's massive room compared to what we used to. So the war games used to be on 3 floors. But this is just open, loads and loads of tables.
You could easily fit probably 200 people in there.
Yeah, you probably could. You probably could get a lot more people in there. So, how about your 3 games, Rob? How have you found them?
Yeah, they've all been sort of pretty tough games. First one, obviously against the Custodes, however you pronounce it, I don't know. We always get it wrong on this channel. Custodes. There we go. It was just jet bite spam. The guy I played against, he was called Robin as well. Real nice guy. He's fairly new to the hobby. His mate, that is a accomplished tournament player, wrote his list. So
that helps.
Yeah. So he had a really strong list, but didn't quite know how to get the most out of it. So it ended up being quite a close game. But his manoeuvrability enabled him to sort of outscore me. So I didn't get sort of tabled or anything like that. Second game was against Rick Martin.
Who we know, I think we've both faced in the past, actually.
Yeah, Rick Martin, the wooden spoon wonder.
He has more wooden spoons from Northwest Open and Last Chance Open than anybody else.
He can make a load of stews, maybe, with those. But,
start a little.
Yeah,
like a spoon band.
Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, he'd be great with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, some really sort of good moments in that game as well, you know. But the last game, that last game, it was against Imperial Guard, and it was 9
Astra Militarum.
Imperial Guard. It was against 9 Lehman Russ. Cadians. My opponent was rolling exceedingly hot.
Yeah, Simon was doing the same with his his Astra Militarum.
So I took 90 battle cannon shots in the first turn. Yes, he didn't roll under 10 for any of his battle cannons.
That's going to sting, isn't it?
Yeah, so basically, turn 1, at the end of it, I was dead. I was dead. I had nothing left. I had basically, well, no, sorry, I had the 2 ironclads left, which honest Wargamer boys didn't like the ironclads. They said that they would die immediately. They're the only ones which are ever surviving.
Yes, they did actually. Honest Wargamers, they didn't like your ironclads at all.
So yeah, it was one of them that you knew from like 20 minutes in that you've lost and you've just got to play it out.
It's one of them things, isn't it?
Yeah, so it was just absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But it, you know, the guy that played against Keith, real nice guy, you know, but just had a very strong army. Yeah, and I think that's one thing I've noticed, I think more in this tournament than the previous ones, is even the armies down the bottom end of the table are still quite tough. Yeah. And Marty joked with me about it, orcs are the strongest codex and you're here with the weakest list. And I'm here to have fun. I'm here to enjoy my army, and also as I play it. Yeah, we don't go to a tournament and think, right, I'm going to a tournament, so I need to rebuild my list from scratch, buy all of these units and paint them. Because you know, we've both got sort of, you know, busy lives and families and things like that. So
YouTube channels to run.
Yeah, so we don't have time to sort of repaint an entire army. So we just basically try and make the most out of what we own, and then maybe add a little unit here and there. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, our armies we don't come here to win. We come here to play 5 games over 2 days, meet some new people, play, have some fun games and things like that. So, you know, I'm quite happy to lose my first game, knowing that I'm going to play against somebody that's lost. So there might be a chance that I'm going to play against somebody like Rick Martin, which we can have a good, a good game where, you know, it could go either way or whatever.
No, it's been fun, and I think I think the ITC event thing has evolved with 8th edition, and I've noticed it getting involved in the more tournaments that we've done, because we're not new to this now. And yeah, and I think if I was going to start a new army, I might even do it with my Jakari. Do you know what? I might actually tailor that for a full-on ITC list. But the problem that you'll have is what happened with my Ultramarines, which is where you do go, actually, I'm going to build a tournament list, I'm going to build this, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get this, and this will be a really strong list. By the time you actually come around to a tournament, it could be out of date. Yeah. So you spend all this money, all this time, and all this effort painting up your miniatures, and then you come to use it, and it won't perform very well because it's moved on. That's what happened to me with my Ultramarines Guilliman list.
Yeah, I think that won't happen anymore because we've only got one codex left to come, which is GC Cult or whatever. Yeah. So and the meta, sisters. Yeah, and sisters. So the meta is pretty much the meta at the moment. So you would be safe at doing that. But at the time, it was Guilliman list was the most powerful, and then within a few weeks, it wasn't. I mean, like
about 6 months was it?
I mean, like my list, the list that I've got here today. Previously I've finished 6th in a tournament with that, and it scared a lot of people because people couldn't spam the mortal wounds. There wasn't people geared up to deal with that much high toughness, and now it's just basically anything can deal with it. Yeah, so it's like,
you know, I mean, it's really nice. It's really nice having the guys from Honest Wargamers here as well. So Rob's live streaming the event on Twitch. Neither of us have been on the stream yet, but
we won't be now.
We won't be.
We've missed our opportunity.
Too far down. We should have been on first game. If we weren't on first game, it ain't gonna happen. But it's nice to see those guys here as well, and meet up with Mikey and Ace, and and loads of people,
all the other guys,
and all the other people that we do know here, and that's kind of what we're here for. So 2 games left on the Sunday. It's gonna be wooden spoon territory for me. Maybe if I lose both games and the guys who are losing at the moment win, I've only got a draw. So there is a chance. So I need a really nice army that's not geared up for killing orcs.
You'll play Rick Martin probably, but the issue is Rick Martin's army is geared up to
kill orcs. It'll kill hordes, and that's the problem. So I've got speed on my side, but when I need first turn, I haven't had it, or I've had it and then lost it, and it's kind of like, Oh, I've had first turn against Simon, I think, and it was the deployment the long ways. It was hammer and anvil, which for my speed freaks, yes, I can still get up into combat in turn 1, but it's like I'm leaving everything else behind. Yeah. Where I need Dawn of War, I need closer deployments to get up, get in your face, and smash you on turn 1, and that's kind of what I'm losing. But we've got 2 more games tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to it. We don't know who our opponents are yet. They might be posted up later tonight. If not, or if not, it'll be in the morning. So, can either of us? Can I win a game? Can he win another one?
Hope so.
Don't know. What are the odds? So let's head over
for at least one more win.
Okay. Let's head over to day 2. So this is it. We're into game 1 of day 2. I've been drawn against Alex's Ultramarines. 5 objective markers down. It's the circle gap deployment in the middle, and most of the Ultramarine strength is over here in this corner. We've got Bikes, Ironclad, Rebrute, Gulliman, Orcs ready to work their way through the ruins, Scouts and Talon all the way up the top, Deep Striking Terminators as well, going to be mindful of. So the Ultramarines finished deploying first, so Alex is going to roll. He gets the +1, so it becomes a 6. I roll a 2, so I am going to try and seize, obviously. Oh, I don't with a 5.
So we're at the first game of day 2, and I'm against Dave Maddox. He's actually a stand-in for today. My original opponent was supposed to be Eldari, but unfortunately he's had to pull out due to ill health. So I'm playing against a rather nasty Zinch Demons list, so I don't really fancy my chances, but let's see how we get on.
That's it. That's the end of game 4. It's another loss for the Orcs. Tabling. Ah dear, never mind. This Orc list is not performing very well. Kind of thought it wouldn't, but Rebrute Gulliman in the middle just sucks in loads of Orcs, and we're going down to 2-3 wounds, something like that, but I just couldn't finish him off. Lots of dead Ultramarines, but unfortunately all the Orcs are pulled down.
Right, so at the end of the game, it is actually another loss to the Iron Hands. Just the amount of psychic, loads of characters, and lots of line of sight. Well, blocking because of Brimstone Horrors and Pink Horrors. He's got over 90 Brimstone Horrors. No, sorry, 50 Brimstone Horrors and then 30 Pink Horrors to get through before I could even shoot those characters. So did an awful lot of damage to them in the first turn, but then she's got tied up in combat. Couldn't really do anything, you know, I was just retreating and retreating. So just couldn't weather the storm. So it finished 21 to the Demons and 11 to me, so another loss there.
So we're about to start the final game of the event, and I've been drawn against Mark and his Blood Angels. So it's going to be good fun. This is going to be a good fun game. The Orcs are all deployed. We're just working out what our secondary are, and then we'll head into the game. So the Orcs finished deploying first, so I get the +1. So Mark is going to roll a 1, and I roll a 6. So I get first turn. Does Mark seize? No, Orcs get first turn.
So it's the last game of the tournament, and I am playing against Dave, and he has got an absolutely gorgeous Imperial Soup list with some Dark Angels, some Knights. He's got Tech Marine too, some Warglaves, absolutely gorgeous. Hopefully the camera's picking up how nice these models are painted. We've just rolled, and Dave is actually going first.
What an epic game that really was. The Blood Angels and Mark were fantastic. It's a win for the Orcs. First one of the tournament, 29-27. It was so close, it literally came down to the 6th and final turn. But what a fantastic game that was. We're going to pack up. Now, normally I would film the award ceremony, but this time I'm not going to because of the different changes of the layout of the room and the location that we're in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to Robin, and then we're going to head over to the summary of the weekend.
So there we go, the end of the last game of the tournament, and this is what's alive. My Land Raider, a Quad Mortar and a Tech Marine over there. Last turn, if I had killed this guy, then I would have scored an extra 2 points, which would have denied him scoring more objectives. And yeah, it was just so close. It ended 24-22 in the end, and yeah, it was just crazy. If I'd killed that guy, it probably would have been a draw, I think, or I might have even won that one, but that was so close. But yeah, just all of that over there, absolutely crazy. Literally nothing left. This, that's all that's left. Dark Angels. Just 2 guys against my 3 guys that just couldn't kill him. I shot the entire Land Raider at him, I shot a quad mortar at him, shot a conversion beamer at him, and he's still got 3 wounds left. It was crazy. But oh yeah, what an absolutely epic game that was. Brilliant. Love it.
Myself and Robin are back from the Last Chance Open. Really great weekend up in Southport, meeting up with loads of friends we haven't seen for quite a while and having a laugh and having a good giggle and playing 5 games of 40k over 2 days, which is always fun. So this time round the tournament was a lot bigger. There was 98 players and it was being held out of the convention centre in Southport. Previous ones have been held out of the old Wargaming store, which isn't there anymore, and the previous tournaments I had about 60 people, I think, so a lot bigger this time. I think because of that, the tournament felt tougher. Normally at the other tournaments we've been to at Wargames, I'd say quarter of the field have been there with that ITC tournament list that are there for the points and for the win and all this kind of stuff. And then the other half of the field have been there for the laugh and those 5 games of 40k, and they've taken what they own and are there just to play games. This time round, because the field was so much bigger, it felt like those people that were there for the fun were less, and there was more armies geared for the actual ITC points and wins and stuff, which to me made it feel a little bit different as a tournament goes. Not that that's a bad thing, just made it feel a little bit different for me personally. You know, I still enjoyed it and still had good fun and had 5 really, really good games. I played for Sean Canning in the first game with his Death Watch, perfectly geared up for killing orcs, and that was a draw. And then I played Simon Chatley with his Astra Militarium, which had loads of tanks in it, so he just castled up in the corner and shot out an absolute bucket load of shots. Really good at killing orcs. Some people say his list's boring. I don't. I think his list's actually nice and you know, it's a typical Astra Militarium list. Loads and loads of tanks, quite a few foot slogging troops, castled up in a corner, waiting for the enemy to come to them and unleashing hell on them, which is what he did on me, and he won that game. Fair play to him, he did very, very well. And the third game, and the last one of day 1, was against Jez and his Harlequins. Now, Harlequins are mortal wound spam. Wow, it's like 18 mortal wounds on some rolls of these dice, and it's just like, I'll just take my army off. But it was good fun because I never played him before. It's an army that I very rarely face as well, so that's always nice. And it was a nice looking board, and his army looked good as well. And then we moved into day 2, and I played Alex and his Ultramarines. And his Ultramarines consist of lots of scouts, lots of devastators, some bikes, an ironclad dreadnought, and Rabute Gulliman, because why wouldn't you? And having an Ultramarines army and having Rabute Gulliman in 30k and in 40k, it's nice to be on the other side of the table and actually play that Ultramarines army. And I think one of the things for me is the terrain. So obviously I run a lot of bikes. I'm Evil Sons, I'm Speed Freaks. I want to get across that board really quick. Well, the way that Alex countered that was by going onto the first floor because my bikes can't get there. So, you know, there was a lot of shots coming in, and it was a really good fun game. Never played Alex before, and hardly ever played Ultramarines before. Played them, but never played against them. So that was a really good fun game as well. And then we move into the final game of the weekend for me. I was against Mark and his Blood Angels, and that was epic. That's probably my favourite game out of the 5 that I played. It was brilliant. It was brutal. I literally had like 3 miniatures left by the end of the game. He had a part of a unit of Sanguinary Guard and 1 other miniature left, I think. It was just brutal, and I won that one. So I finished the weekend on 1 win and 1 draw. And then we move over to Robin. Robin's list, again, kind of like mine, kind of tough, little bit of teeth, but nowhere near as tough as some of the opponents that we faced. And Robin finished the weekend on 1 draw. I think both myself and Robin, when we were talking, is the matchups that we were given were probably perfectly designed to counter our armies. So my Orc army was getting shot off the board before I could get into combat. Robin's army had a lot of armour in it, but he was facing stuff that could deal with his armour and his dreadnoughts quite quickly and quite easily as well. So I think the matchups kind of let us down a little bit. So overall, Robin finished in 85th place with his 1 win, and then I finished in 75th with my 1 draw 1 win. So I take the crown for the Geeks. I'll take that. Robin's going to argue and moan about the fact that me and Sean drew forever. Until the day he dies, I'm not going to hear the end of the fact that me and Sean drew. But it is what it is. But yeah, no, it was a really good tournament. It was really, really good fun. Would I take my Orcs again? Yes, I would. I definitely would. Because I think the Orcs finished 3rd overall. Would I change my list? Yes, I would. Would I want a load more boys? Yes, I would. Robin was like, maybe I should have brought my knights instead of my Iron Hands. He might have done better. He might have done about the same because there were knights armies there. But again, there was a lot of armies that were perfectly geared up to deal with the big things and the knights. So yeah, it was good fun. Really enjoyed it. Kind of disappointed I got 1 win, 1 draw. I normally get 2 wins, but I think that element of the amount of players and it feeling like the armies and the lists were tougher kind of didn't help. My matchups definitely didn't help. You know, if I'd have faced armies that weren't geared up for killing off Orcs as they were screaming up the battlefield, it might have gone slightly differently, but that's what it comes down to. And also, it's a dice game at the end of the day, so you kind of hand it over to the dice gods and whether or not they favour you. So prime example of that is in the last game against Mark, I put 3 mortal wounds down onto one of his characters. It might have been his Smash Captain, and it would have killed him. And he rolled 3 6s to save them with his invuln save, and he rolled 3 and 6s. And then to rub salt into the wounds, it was Tabletop Tactics dice. So I had Lawrence's Tabletop Tactics logo staring at me. Thanks, Lawrence. But yeah, no, it was good fun. Will we go back? Definitely. I think the focus for the Geeks for the rest of this year might be narrative events at Warhammer World and at other locations around the UK as well. Let's do some narrative ones where that competitive army list is possibly toned down a little bit. And people take more fun lists, and then I'm speaking for me more than Robin now. I might give ITC a bit of a miss for this year and then build up my armies and all stuff like this. But who knows where we're going to be next year? There could be reissued codexes. Who knows where we're going to be and what the flavour and the meta will be this time next year. And that is probably one thing I will say that I spotted this tournament, the meta. So normally it's kind of like, oh, there's a load of Tau armies and they've all got Storm Surges in and Riptides in and all this kind of wonderful stuff. There wasn't. So the top 3 placed armies, I think, were like Tau, Orcs, and I can't remember what the top army finishing was. But completely not different to probably what you'd thought. And normally when you go to these kind of things, the top 5 are very, very similar. It's like rinse, wash, repeat of your army list, but that wasn't the case. So the Orc player who finished 3rd had a completely different list to me, and we're a brand new codex, and that's kind of nice to see. It's kind of nice to see these flavours coming through in 40k. It's not just a case of, oh, that's the same list as that one, and that's the same list as that one, and that's hard, and that one's hard, and that's going to finish first. So because of this mixture, that was really nice to see. But massive thank you to the guys and girls at Dice and Decks for putting on the tournament. Ace Face as well, great to see you, and again another fantastic tournament. Big shout out to the Honest Wargamer and Mikey from Hellstorm Wargaming, who were live streaming through the entire weekend on the Honest Wargamer Twitch channel, and that was great. That was, it was nice to meet up with Mikey again and have a chat with Rob and the guys from the Honest Wargamer. So yes, thanks for watching, guys. Please leave a comment. Are you happy that I finished above Robin in the listings? Because I am. Robin isn't. But yeah, please like, share and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And as always, we will see you on the next one.